I made this video because I'm the happy owner of a 2016 Mercedes Metris passenger van. Love the van, it's great, it's very versatile. But the head unit slash infotainment system, not so much. So in this video, I'll show you what I did about that. Hello YouTube. I'm inside my 2016 Mercedes Metris passenger van. And I love the van, but frankly, the head unit, the infotainment system, that's whack. So today I'm going to attempt to replace it with this. It's the Pioneer something. And it's got wireless Apple CarPlay, and that's the main reason I bought it. So let's go and install this. So I purchased this unit off of Crutchfield along with some other stuff needed for the assembly, which was another like $100 and something. It's got the pack, it's got the for the fascia, whatever, to make it fit in the dashboard, and some pry tools. So I thought it was a convenient one-stop shop solution, and another reason why I bought it from Crutchfield was because they sent you this PDF with very specific installation instructions for your vehicle. And so I'm going to just follow these instructions and see if I manage to damage the van. So the first instruction is to disconnect the battery, and in my particular case that is the one underneath the passenger seat. So the first thing you're recommended to do is take out disconnect the battery, the negative terminal of the battery. And to do that in the Metris, you have to remove this bracket. I've already loosened the nuts. So you remove this bracket, and you just slide the battery on out and disconnect this thing. That's what I'm going to do now. I slide the battery out and disconnect the negative terminal. So this is what it looks like when you slide the battery out and you disconnect the negative terminal. So with that out of the way, let's see what's next. So the second phase was to use a pry tool and pop this whole thing loose with the pries. According to the Crutchfield instructions, there's like about 14 of them, look like this. So you have to pop all of those out, and then this whole thing is supposed to come out. And yes, indeed, this wasn't hard to do. I do think you need to proceed with a little bit of caution to make sure you don't break any of the clips, but as far as difficulty goes, no, not really. So here you disconnect the AC unit control. It's pretty easy, but don't confuse them with what's needed for the radio. So we disconnect all these, and we disconnect the USB port here and the aux port, and then we should be good to go. So now we've taken out the whole thing, the fascia, and our dash looks like this. Now we're going to remove the head unit, the stock head unit. You need a T25 a torque screwdriver to disconnect the head unit. That's what I'm going to do now. So this is the T25, and we're going to go in here, up here, there, and there. So now that we've removed the 4 T25s, this is what it looks like, the head unit. Now we just have to disconnect these cables, and since I've got the wiring harness from Crutchfield, it should just be pretty much plug and play from this point, but let's go. So I'm running into a problem here with this green connector, which is essentially the same as this guy. It's identical. This one came off no problem, but for some reason the green guy, you're supposed to push it up, or you need to push that green lever down, and then the other side is supposed to come up and it slides right out. and this is what's holding it back. But for some reason, when I press it here, when I press it there, that thing doesn't have enough rigidity, and the other end doesn't come up enough for it to disengage. Unlike this guy, this one came off right away. But so I'm gonna have to see what I do about that. So as you can see with this guy, you slide it onto the socket, and this thing over here is what keeps it in place. When you press this tab over here, that thing inside comes up, like you can see, and that allows you to slide it right off. But with this thing, when I press this, with the green one, when I press this, the other end is not coming up far enough in order to disengage. So that's my problem right now. Okay, so unfortunately I had to break this guy in order to pop it off. As you can see, I had to break the whatever, the purple pinkish cap on it. You see, on this one it's still intact. On this one I had to break that in order to pry the thing off. Unfortunate, but I don't think it's the end of the world. I'll see what I can do with this. And so here's what the old head unit looks like, removed completely. Apparently, I had no idea, apparently this is an Alpine. I would have never guessed from the sound quality and all that stuff, but that's not this thing, that's also the speakers obviously. But anyway, now we're gonna go for the replacement. So once you've removed the fascia and the head unit, it looks like this, just this cavity with a bunch of wires hanging out. We're gonna see. Let's see if we can pop in the new head unit and the trim panels. Extra interesting to me is that this head unit was apparently made in 2012, while this van is from 2016. Do with that information what you wish. So frankly, I skipped a couple of steps as far as video goes. So Crutchfield sold me the wiring harness, so I didn't have to do all of that. It was just basically plugging this thing. This came plugging this thing into this. This is for the steering wheel controls, and this was for the auxiliary input. It will not work. This will not work with the factory mic, which kind of blows, but so be it. And so the only thing that is separate now is the USB input that is over here, and I still need to connect it. Frankly, the hardest thing was really to get this dash kit on. It's not the greatest fit, I have to say, but it'll do. You know, it's definitely not going to look factory like some of the Chinese units, the Chinese Android units that I've seen. Those look a lot better, but hey, we'll make this work. The fit is not great. You can see that it's actually angling out a little bit, but we're gonna make it work. Okay, I'm gonna connect the wires and put this in the dash. So here you see the adapter wires. These were the four from the factory wires, and they gave me adapters for, this is the black one is the radio antenna. Then the green one should be the backup camera, the factory backup cam. And this, the purple one, should be the factory USB. And this would be the factory microphone, but we don't have a connector for that, which kind of sucks, but I'm going to look into that and see if I can replace that at a later date. So that's that. Here's the radio. So this guy will connect to this. And the other wires are actually only for aftermarket stuff, so I don't really need them other than the one for the backup cams and the antenna. So I'm not gonna connect those now. And then I'm gonna have to connect the external microphone. Okay, here it goes. Okay, so now everything should have been hooked up correctly. The only thing is, the original head unit was about this deep. That head unit is way deeper, obviously, you can see. And you have the extra harness, the pack module, and all of that. I don't know how I'm going to stuff all of that in there. Well, let's hope for the best. Okay, so I've put the head unit in place. The rest of the dash is still out there, because I first want to make sure that everything works and is connected properly before I put everything back in. So here goes nothing. Oh. That's good. Well, let's see if the Bluetooth works. So it's a good thing I didn't put everything back, because it turns out that for wireless Apple CarPlay you need the GPS antenna. I figured I don't connect the GPS antenna because why? I'll use Google Maps on my phone, but so you do need that antenna in order to use Apple CarPlay wirelessly. So out she goes. Alright, this is the moment of truth. I've put everything back, as you can see. Let's start her up. That takes a long time to boot up. I hope it doesn't take this long every time.